And it's gone to him to start off with. Big job. 1-0 relish.
Saturday night footy. Pitnet in the ruck against Stanley. Good bounce to start it. Dangerfield in the middle. Curnow, a Geelong boy back home, rolls it off the deck.
No, 15. Play
Walsh,
on,
the magnet, got a touch early as he so often does. Selwood and Cripps, the two bulls collided. Pitnet to Murphy. Spears it, lace out to Eddie.
Gee, that's a perfect start. That's the sort of ball use you want. A couple of players getting over to Mark Pitnet. He got involved in the play, but he didn't panic. He realised the best option was just to shoot a hand pass to the waiting hands of Mark Murphy. Let the good kickers kick the footy.
And this was a great kick because he didn't try and break his rib cage. He just waited and let him run onto it.
One of the star goal kickers of the competition for his entire career. And he's nailed a big-time goal there. Eddie Betts. They've been under pressure with slow starts. That's exactly the start they were after.
Yeah, that was brilliant. The best way to kick goals at this ground is the easiest way is to get it straight out of the middle of the ground, and you can just see the seas open up here. They get forward to the ball. The Cats have lost their sweeper, and Eddie just charged up the ground, getting off his man for the perfect start. Well done to all those players involved. Was Walsh, was Cripps going head-to-head with Selwood. He was the one actually who knocked it forward, got the first contested ball going their way, and there's the space. You can't defend that. Came off a Reece Stanley win in the hit, but it was well guarded, well sharked by the Blues, who kept the ball in and kept it going all their way.
Hughes with the job on Eddie tonight. Eddie's second game back for the Blues, missed round one with a calf, 186th for Carlton all up. Okay, Cripps again, the bull gets the clearance straight down the spine again. Casbolt couldn't get a run at it. Blitzarves gathers the crumb to Duncan, tries to fend off, but the kid was strong. Walsh. Dalhouse tried to flick it over his head to O'Connor. Back inside the boundary just in time, Duncan, but the knock-on didn't quite work for him. Curnow did well. Cunningham did brilliantly. Gibbons just as fantastic. Walsh, Curnow, a blast. Casbolt's down there, had enough of it, not quite. Had his jumper held, Dangerfield the crummer. Blitzarves feeds it back to Stewart. O'Connor, his target, got up early. Casbolt the contest. Harry Taylor, clever ball use. Dalhouse. Narkle, who's tagging Cripps at the moment, goes toward Rowan, put it out in front of him. Body on the line from Wiedering. Not high, play on, umpires put the whistle away. Abler kicks it off the deck, gets it inside 50, Selwood. High tackle on Curnow according to the umpire.
He's got the job of running to Joel Selwood. Ed Curnow is looking to be positive and get as much of the ball as he can as well when the opportunity presents itself.
Good Geelong College, Geelong Falcon kid, Ed Curnow from Mottawarri, same old club as Abler Jr. Petreski-Seaton, who started back in the games this season.
Hold the mark.
These are Dangerfield's running with Cripps, and I mean actually running with him, which is interesting.
Kicking it down the line at the moment. Walsh to Gibbons.
Just hand it over to a teammate.
Mackay, little use of the body didn't work on Blitzarves, who was strong enough to hold his ground.
Thanks, Harry.
Menegola, big leaper as Jones, got up double-fisted. It almost could have gone for the mark, but safety first.
Mark, Reece, hold that meter.
I think they're assuming responsibility for each other, which isn't a bad thing. Although now they swap over. It'd be great to see Cripps and Dangerfield go head-to-head.
Stanley's fist all the way to the boundary, though, so umpire will do it again.
Well, Curnow certainly putting some time into Joel Selwood at various stoppages, but not necessarily all stoppages. Now he's again there, getting the hands in and around him.
Cripps and Dangerfield side by side, although it looks like the hand over to Gibbons, and Cripps was clever there, gave it to Gibbons as Dangerfield was mesmerised as to who he needed to shut down. But the kick, as it so often does on this skinny ground, out of play on the full.
Behind play while that was going on. A little tangle between Ed Curnow and Joel Selwood. And Joel took Ed Curnow to ground, lucky to get away with it.
Wiedering on Hawkins at the present time. Hawkins going deepest.
Duncan keeps it low. Jones got to the party late. Ablett Spins around the body. Plowman got back. Clever grab. Really had to commit to it. Leave his man. Doherty. This kick needs to be good too. Puts it out in front. Clever kick. It was either Walsh or the boundary, and he was prepared to take either.
Got to get Turner. Right, please. Reese.
There is Jack Stephen about to come on for the first time for the Cats. 183 games for the Saints. Wearing the number 9, made famous in this oval by the great Mick Turner. Zach Smith wore it last year. Guthrie hands it up. Perfect start coming up. He didn't hit it well. Got it to full forward, Jack Stephen. Off hand, still a chance for the Cats. Doherty caught a little high. Hawkins didn't get the free away, and the Blues do give the ball away. Out on the full.
Nearly a fairy tale for Jack Stephen to come on, get a ball straight away. Opportunity to kick a goal with his first kick. Maybe the legs were just pumping a little bit too quickly.
Zach, stay there.
Tui. Who can launch a ball, and the launch normally to the top of the square.
Yours.
He pulls a little shorter than that. Stanley was up, Hawkins was up. Almost got on each other's way. Guthrie through the traffic. Feeds the handball in the Dangerfield direction. Cripps, who started well, he rolls it away. Chance for Cunningham to get there. Brian Myers. Stewart missed his target. Jack Martin lending a hand in defence, and they fanned for him quickly here. Doherty. Simpson. Murphy.
Hold the mark.
Great start for the Blues at the moment.
Well, they're maintaining possession, which is good. They're finding targets.
Cunningham to Silvani, who's back in this week.
And you can't get hurt when you've got possession of the footy.
Yours.
Mackay, can he get up there? He did, but he got hands to it but couldn't pull it down. Eddie had it if he could take it on the run, but he left it behind. Went straight for the line, so deliberate. Mackay's ball. And he's a crazy chance from here, Harry. Distance won't be his problem.
Harry, that's it. Don't creep around.
Walks around the gutter. He's going to kick it from about 45.
Big banana.
He's holding it that way. Get some bend on it, and way too much bend on that banana behind.
It's incredibly difficult to kick a banana over 40, 45 metres. I mean, they're okay when you're in close, within 20 metres, but any further than that, you're starting to have to kick the ball very close to the belly to get it to go in.
Radigalia got high. Mackay crumbs it. Jack Stephen, a little fumble, dives back in, but he's in trouble unless he gets it out, which he did.
Well, right now, David Teague's got exactly what he was wanting. They're focused on this all week. They've got themselves a start, but it's only early days. They've got to capitalise on their good first 10 minutes.
Stephen just got it out in time. Setterfield couldn't get free with it. Jack Stephen screaming that he should have got a free. There's the two coaches. David Teague, coached 13 games. Chris Scott in season 10. Cunningham blasted to the pocket. Harry Taylor, right spot, right time as always.
Well, the Cats had an extra up at that stoppage, so there's no reason for them to be losing the clearances, which they're doing at the present time, 4-1.
Back to the 9.
O'Connor.
When you're playing three tall forwards in the forward line, Jason, you'd hope that Geelong wouldn't be able to outmark the Carlton talls, particularly around the goal square.
He just reads it so well, Harry Taylor. He dropped off. He was the loose tall, and unfortunately Casbolt misjudged the ball, ran underneath it.
Dangerfield caught a little high by Murphy after mesmerising Pitternet. A ball that he shouldn't have got hands to. Not the required. Duncan under pressure. Bad kick by Danger. Good for Martin. Gave it to Gibbons. Blues about to go into attack again. Blitzars calls Tui into it, and that worked okay for the pair. The Blues get a ball in forward pocket.
Interesting that Cripps had drifted forward there. Zach Tui picked him up when he went forward.
Rucks, please. Hawkins and Mark coming. Tom, Mark. Here it goes.
So Hawkins doing the ruck work in the back pocket. Pitternet with him. It was good last week. Down to Jack Stephen. Handball not so good. Turned it over. Cunningham. Gibbons. Murphy. Kickable. Needs to strike it well. Struck it beautifully. 2-0 start for the Blues.
And 2 goals from clearances. One from the centre clearance at the start of the play, and this one from a forward stoppage, which Chris Scott would not be overly thrilled about. They had it, and they just coughed it up. Bit of first game nerves for Jack Stephen. And then it was really, you can't defend that sort of mistake. It just came off the inside of the fist, and the Blues just handball backwards, got the chain going. Mark Murphy on the end of it. Really, they won the tap. They headed straight to Stephen, so it was a hit out to disadvantage. It should have been, but the turnover with the handball was costly.
He does look nervous, Jack Stephen.
He had a chance at the other end, didn't he?
Unusual for an experienced player. Look, I'm sure his mind's racing a million miles an hour. He'll settle down. The good news is he's getting his hands on the footy early.
Hasn't played a lot of footy of late, just 7 games last year. We know he had the alleged stabbing incident over the course of the coronavirus layoff. So he's had a couple of things to cope with. Ball down to him, the man we're speaking of, and he was dumped by Curnow, who had him before he collected it.
And again, good centre clearance hit for Stanley getting the ball going forward.
Menegola. Guthrie. Simpson overcommitted. Guthrie. Well, Simpson had the help. Silvani put some pressure on. Simpson came back in. Silvani. Another strong tackle. Holds it in the area. Ball up.
Yeah, and it was good to see Jack Silvani make the second tackle because he missed the first one. So he butted up. He followed up and was able to make the second tackle. A good strong one, holding the ball up.
Casbolt doing the ruck work. Knocked it down. Ball fed out to Gibbons. He gains ground. He gains 40. Silvani was close enough. No, wasn't close enough. Deliberate.
Jack, 2 minutes back. Play on, you're in.
Been a little hotter on that this season, but probably not such a bad thing. Harry Taylor all the way back to Blitzars.
Hold, play on.
He's got Henry if he wants him.
Carlton working really hard, as in Sam Walsh, just doing the hard kilometres, trying to lock it down, and they've done it pretty well. Stopped Geelong in their tracks.
Yours.
Heads long. Dalhouse had a piece of it. He had Doherty out of position. Doherty recovered brilliantly. Eddie Betts lurking. Didn't get to him. Stewart content with Cunningham to see that out.
Well, what was really good about Doherty's decision there, he looked to handball backwards. He could see that there was a bit of coverage and it opened up. So he took some grass in front of him and got the ball more into their attacking area. It's a lot of ball going backwards, and ultimately you're giving up territory.
Casbolt against Radaglia. Betts on the run with the hard volley and the wobbly mongrel torp that might roll the way home. Didn't quite get there.
He's ambitious. He's tried to kick a 70-metre torp on the run. Wasn't a bad effort, but it was always going to be a little low percentage.
Kingy, right now the Blues well on top, and the clearance is getting it forward.
Yeah, they are. They're taking territory, as you said, guys, upstairs a moment ago. I really like what they're doing with their forwards. They're resetting really early, making it difficult for Geelong to zone off and get that extra man back and create an overlap.
Eddie Betts has won goal of the year 4 times, so why not have a crack?
Who's up, Carlton? Levi.
There he is.
Levi.
4-time goal of the year winner, 3-time All-Australian. 6 seasons at the Adelaide Crows, and now back to his old club, the Blues. Hard tackle laid by Selwood. Around the neck in the end.
They've got to be clever here because they have got Harry sitting back as an extra. So the long bomb probably favours Harry.
Gibbons danced around him on his left. Didn't get enough on it. Goal square. No free McGovern. Duncan cut it off. Outstanding smother by Eddie. He's doing it all at the moment. Great body smother. Just committed himself wholeheartedly to it.
Yeah, he's up and about early, Eddie, isn't he? Great to see. Quiet last week, but making his presence felt early this week.
Casbolt, little flick forward. No Eddie, couldn't quite get to him, and Eddie's man, Jed Buse, gets away with it.
Well read.
Petrovski-Seaton, though. Never gave up on the ball. Simpson. Wiedering in some space. Casbolt got there. Good hands.
Big fan
make
of
it
this
3-0.
He has. He's been one of the most improved players over the last 2 to 3 years in the game. His kicking has improved dramatically, Jason. He's a great mark. He's just become a fantastic servant of this footy club.
Copped a little bit of attention from Reece Stanley after the mark too. Happy to try and ride him into the ground. Didn't give away the 50.
He's kicked 135 goals, 99. So that figure has improved. You're right, Gerard, over the last couple of years. Struck this okay, struck that as good as you can strike it. 3-0.
So if you're a Blues supporter sitting at home and you're watching this, you've wanted to see effort, but it's also the reward for effort they're now getting. So there's no point getting a good start if you're not doing damage on the scoreboard.
Yep.
They've done that now. They've kicked the first 3 goals of the game, and the game's flowing their way. The issue now is how long can they maintain this intensity for?
Well, I think what you're seeing is effort, but you're also seeing method. You know, they are winning clearances. They're resetting their forward line, as David has said, and they're taking their opportunities and just getting back to the kicking improvement of the Bolt. You know, he was given up on as a player. He was on the market, and probably, I think it was an opportunity for clubs to get themselves a really strong power forward, but there wasn't a big enough taker, and he has reconsidered his position. He's taken advice from kicking coaches, etc., and he actually hits darts around the ground now. He's really an amazing improving player.
And he has a rest, as is the trend. Kick a goal, you're off. But 16 scoreless minutes for the Cats at home. Curnow, kick smothered. Petreski-Seaton, quick off the square. Dalhouse likewise to Stephen, who went off the deck, but dangerously. Jack Martin free.
Hands over the ball. Hold there, Jack. Hold there.
Right now, there'd just be a few red flags going off in the Geelong box. Everybody has seen what's happened in the first 2 rounds, and the Cats haven't started anywhere near like they'd like.
Cripps got under that kick a little. Eddie was half held. Guthrie against the grain to Narkle. Handball smothered by Mackay. Stanley reached in. Blitzards goes in. Walsh just as fierce at it, and they hold it in. Inside 50 ball up for the Blues. Quick throw up. Pinternet down. Eddie's lurking. Buse was there. Boundary line was his friend, so was Guthrie, who handballed it there. Throw in.
Just watching Jack Martin getting a lot of space around the back of these stoppages in a really dangerous area here about the top of 50. He's the one that's getting free and getting a real opportunity here for Carlton.
100th game for Jack in this one tonight. A new blue, but he's provided so far in his couple of games. Buse went back. Narkle to Selwood. Captain trying to generate some momentum, but Plowman dived in, took a good grab.
That's a great sign from a Blues perspective. No easy outlet kicks for the Cats.
Hold there.
Everybody watching can see that there's one side just a little bit harder, a little bit more desperate at it than the other, and the Blues are getting the benefit on the board.
McGovern, early leap over the back. Cats have numbers at the back. Stanley, Stewart, last line of defence. Needs to be good, this kick. Heads out wide. Walsh, Dangerfield, Plowman. Big fist from Plowman.
It was interesting about a minute ago, the umpire gave Guthrie the out for fumbling a handball over the line, but there's no out for fumbling a kick.
Mark and race.
And for mine, Guthrie was almost guaranteeing that the ball went over the line, but rules don't apply for the skill by hand, obviously.
Cripps, the flick to Curnow, got it on the boot quick. And Gibbons pocket. And kickable for him here. This would be phenomenal if they can start with 4 goals with the Cats not scoring yet.
Not traditionally an easy pocket to kick them from down here, but the way they've started.
There's nothing traditional about this season.
True.
There's no breeze tonight. Good conditions. He's an experienced campaigner, if only young in games of AFL footy, and that never looked like this.
Here's Guthrie.
I think he tried to handball it further up the ground and it slid off the outside of his knuckle. I can see them giving him the benefit of the doubt, Jared. As much as we want the ball to stay in.
I wouldn't mind you umpiring a few games, Jared.
Well, he actually missed it with his fist. You'd be harsh as an umpire too.
There he is, Guthrie.
I know one thing, Jason, you'd have to kick at 15 metres, probably 20.
Guthrie got the clearance for us whilst we were talking about him. Radicalier hasn't seen a lot of it yet. Ablett, clean pick. He's been in good form, but he dropped it there. Got away with it. Atkins caught but dropped it, got away with it.
Clever.
Little chip kick to Dangerfield.
So what we saw was one of the great differences between Carlton and Geelong on that occasion. We can see Dalhouse down behind play. Carlton had a 2-on-1. The loose was Sam Doherty, but he wasn't able to come over the top and mark the ball.
Yep.
It was brought to ground, whereas down the other end, the likes of Tom Stewart and Harry Taylor would take that intercept mark.
Well, it was a really clever kick because there was nothing forward of the ball, so it sets it up for Patrick Dangerfield to snag one from 45 to 50.
And boy, do they need it. It's long, but is it long enough? It's offline anyway.
It's the part of his game that just hasn't matched the rest of it. He looks a bit groggy, doesn't he?
Yep.
Luke Dalhouse. So there's the 2-on-1 where they weren't able to affect the intercept mark, but it's friendly fire. He runs into a Sava Radaglia.
Blues are out here. Silvani could turn and go. He's got McGovern down the line in a one-on-one. He didn't want it. He's got Cripps a centre half forward and he didn't want it.
Yeah, an opportunity lost there.
Cats first inside 50 after 9 in a row for the Blues.
Plowman on the end of a spear, and now they're out all the way to Gibbons. Worked his way up to the wing.
Gee, their ball use has been impressive early, Dwayne.
It has. Again, Cripps is ignored. He goes wider. Casbolt just beyond his range, even though he can bang a ball. Top of the square. Walsh backs back. Radaglia with the fist. Dangerfield scrambles it away. Might be coming back though. It's a 2-on-1. Doherty got it to Petreski-Seaton. Rowan's tackle was good. Jones was great in the hole though. Knocked it to Simpson. Blues are on fire here. Little wobbler towards Eddie Betts. Half volley wasn't quite there, but he kept it in front, Eddie. Kept it rolling and still attacks it. No free. Narkle. Selwood. Narkle. Back to Dangerfield. Drop step was good. Handball was terrible. And McGovern might make him pay. He does. 4 goals to 0.
How's the difference in pressure?
Unbelievable.
This is amazing. We've seen a number of teams over the last couple of weeks get belted one week or play ordinary one week and then have a complete attitude readjustment the following week. And that's exactly what we're seeing here.
Well, the Bulldogs did it. The Hawks did it in this particular round. And right now we're seeing the Blues produce a fantastic first quarter. And who knows, this quarter may be enough to set them up for their first win of the year.
Look at the fumbles and how quickly they have to try and get rid of the ball because they're getting closed down. And most importantly, capitalising. Eddie Betts' attack on the footy was brilliant. He was 1 against 3 or 4. Kept it alive for the Blues. And then it was just the pressure.
So Radaglia into the middle of the ground for his first jump at a centre bounce.
Pitternet against him. Good bounce. Pitternet up. Got a hand. He just missed Martin on the run through. Tried to flick it out to Martin, but he wasn't there anymore. Dangerfield gets the clearance. Heads out wide. Wiedering attacks it. Got rid of it quickly. Could have waited a little longer. Nunes attack. Dangerfield got there. Gave to Atkins. Martin tackle. Put pressure on the handball. Menegola, Radaglia, missed Dangerfield. Diving in, Williamson lays the tackle back in this week. Narkle to Grind Myers. Pokes the ball to Tui. And he's almost within range here, Zach Tui, against his old team.
Oh, I think he's definitely in range, knowing the leg that Zach Tui's got. Accuracy will be the issue. But he doesn't struggle with it inside 55 metres.
Kicked the big match winner here
15 gone, Zach.
a year ago. 120 games for Carlton. Takes a deep breath. This is a big kick in more ways than one. From just outside 50, the kick comes. He cranks up and launches. Pitternet on the goal line. Double fisted down dangerously. Almost. And we've seen a few teams do that recently.
The post.
Wait on the line with a man ready for that punch down. And Selwood's dumped off the ball. Free kick Geelong. Just what the Blues did not need.
It's a gift. It'll be from the kickoff line, the edge of the square going to Joel Selwood.
Against Williamson. Back into the lineup this week. That's a monster giveaway, given what's happened so far tonight. Cats get their first of the night.
Fine line between being aggressive and trying to be in the face of the opposition and not going too far. And obviously the umpire has adjudicated that he's gone too far. You get to see it here. Just middle of screen, he's coming across. Seen worse.
Well, there was definitely some mayo on it.
He certainly went down, Joel, didn't he? But if they're going to do that, no need.
Now, we see that a few times not paid, don't we? We see it hundreds of times not paid, but as you said, just wondering if it's a directive that we're going to see that clamped down on because of maybe what we saw with the Bulldogs and the Giants happening 100 times in the one game.
So you see the contested possession numbers. Carlton are actually in deficit, which suggests that they're doing a hell of a lot right when the ball is in their hands. A lot better than the home team at the moment.
Pitternet launches early. There was a low bounce. Radicalier gets the crumb, takes off with it, wobbles it to half forward. Great mark, Doherty.
Good strength, used the body on Joel Selwood, contested mark, terrific result.
It's been fantastic coming back. Missed a couple of seasons with the knee recos and been fantastic this year. Setterfield at half back. Pitternet rises. Unopposed in the end.
Well, he's unopposed. He got a really good block by his teammate Casbolt.
High leap from Stewart, but he let it get over the back. Nunes attacks. Silvani bends it back. Myers, goal square. Williamson, he might get one back. Gave it to Betts. Got it. He gave one up at the one end, but he got them one back at the other one. Williamson. And Eddie's got a couple.
He'll feel a lot better about that, Twain. I reckon he would have been feeling pretty low, pretty disappointed with himself, gifting Geelong their first goal at the other end. But it's the effort to come in here. Look at the attack of the Blues. Absolutely brilliant to get to the ball first, to keep it alive. And then Brian Myers is a little panicky under the ball.
He didn't take it on his chest or in his hands.
Unfamiliar position for him, Jared, when you're in the defensive goal square. Did well to get the arm free, Williamson, to get the hand pass out.
And rightly so, Chris Scott is up and about, and I suspect he had a gut feeling that this is potentially what could happen, and the footy gods at the moment are on the Blues side.
I'd love to hear the address at quarter time.
It'll be still measured.
Yeah, you mentioned the pre-game, or Kingy mentioned the pre-game address as well. He was fairly stern with his addressing of the players on the field. Seconds left to end this term. Gang tackle of Dangerfield and Selwood on Cripps. 25 seconds left. From the scramble, Menegola to Dangerfield. Betts had a piece of his shorts. O'Connor, good dance step, wobbly high kick. Can they get a mark here late? Jones.
Gee, that's good attack on the footy.
Well, the Blues, it looks like they're in overdrive at the moment, and the Cats, they've got half a dozen really working hard, but collectively they're right off the pace.
Doherty as the siren sounds. Well, in a year where you've got to believe the unbelievable, in many respects the unbelievable has happened in the opening quarter here at GMHBA Stadium tonight. The slow starting Blues, who gave up the first 5 goals to Richmond in round 1, gave up
in this second term. Geelong, if they get it, think, yep, we're back on track. Carlton get it, the belief grows that they continue doing what they've been doing.
Jack Stephen tagging Cripps here for the opening bounce to the second. Ball slapped out to Martin and Dangerfield. Martin, Menegola, Stanley, Dangerfield runs away from Pitternet, but the kick's a mongrel. Williamson did well.
How good was the chase from Pitternet, though? Just to make Dangerfield make a quicker decision and turn over the kick.
5 kicks now for Dangerfield, all ineffective.
Yep.
Stanley, straight down the spine. Plowman, Radicalier, Hawkins at the back, stayed down, gave it to Guthrie, needs a good roll here, a tumble, a roll, a trickle, a goal.
Absolutely magnificent timing from Guthrie, knowing that you were here to watch it, Jason. He's just plucked out one of the great dribble kicks of post-COVID era.
It's a good goal, but they'll be disappointed. They'll be disappointed because they had numbers around the ball there, the Blues, and he's just cut a swathe through them, just waltzed through the middle, got the hand pass and finished off beautifully. Again, funnily enough, it was Pitternet, the deepest player, that had to try and chase Guthrie, and he was never going to catch it.
Great hands from Tom Hawkins. It was clean. It was really just superb ball movement. Quickly there onto the left hand, didn't try the inside-out handball. And there was that dribble kick. We'll see a fair bit of that over the weekend.
It's a great look as well. It looks like the unbeliever from The Life of Brian. Herman, who hadn't spoken for 18 years. But he's in good form in 2020.
I hope some people get that, Dwayne, because it's a great reference. It's brilliant.
back in the middle. Stanley, Pitternet go at it again. Dangerfield and Cripps side by side. Cripps off the deck, got it to half forward. Cunningham playing in front. Back to Cripps, it was there for him. Collects it again, gets around Guthrie. Couldn't get past O'Connor. Gave it to Curnow. Kick a little wide. Mackay just slipped on him a bit. Out of play.
They're just a metre off at the moment. The Cats, a metre off with half a dozen tackles already in this opening term. They could have nailed a couple there, and they're just reacting a little bit slower than the Blues.
Stanley. Menegola.
Play on, not 15.
Cripps.
One.
And it's been paid, the mark to Menegola. Travelled the required.
He had a big game last week. His coach will be looking for a repeat performance in these final 3 quarters.
Radically couldn't get a clear jump at it. Jones wore him well. Doherty kick smothered. Ryan Myers got around Jones. Slips a kick to the midfield. McGovern read it well off the boot. Couldn't collect the ball off the deck, but at least he was there for the contest. Ablett superb. Henry can kick a ball. Goes to the goal square for the pass, and it works. Duncan.
Such a good kick, wasn't it? Once Gary Rowan got goal side, there's no way knowing Mark Murphy was going to catch it. Just had to chip the ball out in front of him.
And it's been their great weakness tonight, as you pointed out. Their kicking has been horrible, Geelong, but that was superb from Henry.
I reckon he's got a pretty good angle here, Miss Duncan, from where he marked that on the run.
15 gone.
I missed him big time in the preliminary final last year, Mitch Duncan. One of their main men. Until then. Wow.
Clear.
You said he had a better angle than he probably should have. Maybe felt guilty. Doherty with the kick in. Bullet dodged by the Blues.
Play on. Yours.
Cripps and Dangerfield. Good battle. Cripps forced the punch from behind.
Reece, Mark.
Their co-captain, their big star, their 3-time BNF after only 101 games, which is a fair effort. Menegola caught on the kick. Rowan hasn't had a lot of it yet, and handball found Simpson. Caught though, gang tackled. Rowan gets it back again. Now he's caught.
He got lucky, Cade Simpson. He stepped back into traffic, and the ball got knocked out in the act of tackling. Otherwise, he would have been pinged.
Simpson got in front of Stanley and gave the free kick away.
Can't impede him. You can't impede him.
It was kind of accidental. He was just caught wrong place, wrong time. See what Stanley can do with this.
He actually grabbed him, Reece Stanley. That was smart because Simpson was following Ablett, which took him across the path of Stanley. But Stanley grabbed him as though he was interfering with him.
It's been an up and down career at the Cats for Reece Stanley. Left out of Geelong's first final last year. He's got onto that though. That's a monster. And the Cats are on the way back with the first 2 of the quarter.
Well, they've kicked 3 goals, and 2 of them have come from free kicks that were completely unnecessary. And I know I understand your points, Wayne. You can't run in front of a ruckman like that. I mean, it's a brain fade from one of the great players of the Blues.
He's not close enough to Ablett there, is he? He had to go around. If he was right next to Ablett, I'd say that's fine. But not when there's a couple of metres space.
Geelong have won 4 of the 5 clearances up for grabs in this second quarter. They've lifted, and Menegola's been the main man.
So can Carlton find that effort and that level of intensity that they had in the first quarter again? He played a massive game last week. Although Pitnet started very well in the first quarter, but Reece Stanley has responded. I wonder if he was challenged at quarter time by the coach.
Good contest at the moment. Saturday night footy on Fox Footy. Hope you're enjoying it. From the restart, Pitternet. Setterfield playing out of the middle, tagging Dangerfield, and got a kick on him. Walsh quick off the wing. Duncan wrapped him up as soon as he got near it.
High ball. He's landed to the side of him.
Just starting to struggling to get his hand on the ball is young Walsh. Just a couple of possessions, but the wing can do that if the ball's on the other side of the ground for the majority of time.
Curnow allowed to play onto advantage here. Out wide to Casbolt, got there.
Super kick, super kick. Again, that was Pitnet that earned that ruck infringement. He got front position big enough to hold it against Stanley. Drew the free kick. Curnow took the advantage and then found that little pocket of space for Casbolt to lead into. Can he reproduce that beautiful kick we saw from him in the first quarter?
Confident preparation, little wipe of the hands on the shorts, deliberate run in, casually sinks the slipper into it. It's across the face. Come through for a behind.
It's a very organised Carlton forward line at the moment, Jason. You know Geelong are going to hold that extra man, that +1 behind the ball.
Yep.
But they've still managed to take 4 marks inside 50, which is a big result for the Carlton forward line at this stage of the game.
Stewart. Radaglia got there. Jones got there in front of him, knocked it down. Ablett got it from Atkins. Had to backpedal to get some space. To the wing, Hawkins. Fist from Wiedering's good. Hawkins' second effort superb. Handball inside, hoping for Atkins, but he missed him. Gibbons read it well. Petrevski-Seaton, Setterfield, Cripps, Walsh. Has McGovern out wide, needs to be a good kick. Great hands.
And another opportunity for a turnover goal. They controlled that ball Geelong. They gave it back to Carlton, and on the rebound, the forward line the back line is under enormous pressure from the Cats because the ball just came in really quickly, but it really needed a top mark, and this was a 50-50 ball. He'd be thrilled with his opening couple of quarters.
He needs this for his confidence, though. He's only had the one touch, McGovern. Good mark there, good contested mark. Kick the goal, get yourself up and about.
Right where we are now. Your feet. Yep.
Big kick for momentum as well. Outstanding. Equal to the pressure, and they get a nerve settler, the Blues.
You know what, Jared, it's a very good kicking style for goal. He runs very straight, kicks through the ball. It doesn't bend one way or the other. Keeps everything perfectly in line.
Well, it's pretty simple, I reckon, for McGovern, and he's had a fair bit of exposure this week, so he'd be really keen to make a mark. But if he holds these marks, and these are tough marks, but he gets his hands on a lot of marks.
Yep.
And they fall out. But when he's at his best, he's clunking those, and that was under enormous pressure. As you said, Jason, he's a beautiful skill.
Weight through the kick, yeah, you got to like that.
But you've got to get the ball in your hands, and you know that was only a 50-50. That was a great contested mark.
That was a great slow motion replay of the kicking action side on. You could see how the weight was forward over the ball. Still got the complete follow through the kick. Really good technically.
Liam Jones on the bench with Mitch McGovern having a little rest. Good response from the Blues. Cats have kicked the first 2 of the second quarter. Stanley.
Cripps, Carlton. Cripps, Carlton.
Cripps was held according to the umpire.
Come back on. Stay out, Tom, stay with him, thank you.
Straight down the spine, no one manning up on Pitnet. Hands it to Martin. Lace out the Mackay.
I don't care what you say. You've got to get the right people kicking the ball in this game. It makes such a difference. Cripps saw Pitnet in a little pocket of space, straight down the middle of the ground. And again, when Pitnet went to hand pass in the first term, it was Mark Murphy. This time it's Jack Martin. They're the right people to be distributing the footy.
And he put a bow on that. Can Mackay finish the deal? Looks pretty good. Goal umpire did not move. 2 in a row to the Blues.
Well, this is exciting, Jared. Long-suffering Blues fans. They haven't had a lot to cheer about for a number of years. But when it looked like Geelong were about to get back in the game, they kicked the first 2 goals of this quarter. They've answered. Have a look at the kick. You couldn't have put it in a better spot. Absolutely brilliant. Jack Martin, beautiful use of the footy. You can see why they were so keen to get him.
Well, centre clearances are really important if you can turn them into goals. I know Kingy will be able to give us the scores from centre clearances when we get back down to him, but at the moment it's 5-4, so it's pretty even split, but Carlton are getting goals and scores from their clearances.
2 goals from centre clearances so far, Jared. I'm loving what they're doing in the forward line, creating a lot of space for each other, taking 6 marks inside 50 now. It's a big number for the Blues.
Narkle on Martin for this ball up. Casbolt sent into the middle to ruck against Reece Stanley.
There's the overall stoppage numbers. 21 points to 7 from clearances.
Cripps flick to Martin was superb. He bangs it back towards Silvani and Mackay. Silvani tried to trap it just inside the line. Did. Kick was horrible though. Couldn't hit his target. Narkle got back. Flicked it to Atkins. Setterfield stole it. Holding the ball. Didn't handball it away. Narkle. So no Selwood, no Dangerfield in the centre square for that bounce for the Cats. Put some more inexperienced guys in there. Rowan. Good float.
Hold there, Lockie.
Sits it up for the Hawkins Wiedering one-on-one. They tangle. Hawkins got a knuckle on it. Wiedering slaps it away. All the way to Gibbons. Walsh pulled the kick late towards Silvani, and Harry Taylor content to see that over the line. Last time the Blues was here, 3 games ago they were here, the Blues. Round 23 last year. Geelong kicked 19 goals on them, for the Blues 8. Hawkins. Curnow put it straight down his throat. Handball to Ablett wasn't that good, and he dropped it as he was tackled. Walsh, strong.
Well, it wasn't Ablett's problem. He picked it up beautifully at his feet, and he evaded the first tackle, but the second one was just too good.
Well, the Blues have got an extra 2 players now up at the ball because Ratugolea and Henry are both loose in defence.
And again, Geelong down a man for the rest of the game. Dalhouse out with concussion.
Ratugolea and O'Connor, I should say.
In fact, they were actually clever there, the Cats, because Blitzarves sent Ratugolea to his man Mackay and said, "I'll be the loose."
Oh, Casbolt's hands magnificent. Just a little nudge with his shoulder. Took the grab just beyond his range. Pulls the kick, top of the square. Mackay couldn't mark it. Got a free. Chop of the arms.
It was a late call, but it came.
Again, that space is available
Yep.
for a leading lane there. I just think it's great team craft from their 6 forwards, just creating opportunities for each. And even if he drops that mark there's good representation at ground level there.
He certainly didn't hit the ball, Blitzarves, did he, in the spoil?
So no Charlie Curnow for the Blues this season. Over to you, Harry Mackay. What do you got? He hasn't got the goods there. Just scrapes in for a behind, but that's the equal biggest lead of the game that Carlton have had. They led by 26 points earlier as well.
Looked like he had a couple of concerns. Chris Scott, this is going to be a really interesting challenge for the Cats to try and turn this around.
O'Connor, Duncan, outside of the boot to Rowan. Trapped it, nowhere to go. He rode the bump from McGovern though. Back to Myers. Tight ropes the boundary towards Dangerfield. Thump clear brilliantly by Jones.
Jared, explain to me why McGovern would try and bump then. Why wouldn't you tackle?
I guess
What
it's just
gets
instinct.
achieved by the bump?
Well, you get nothing for the bump. You can get yourself suspended and you get a free kick if
Or you
you
can get made
tackle.
to look silly like he did then.
Ball not down towards Guthrie. Caught, gave it to Duncan. Loops it wide. Dangerfield and Selwood both there. Danger hands to Joel. Wobbles one. 3 Blues fly. No one down. Rowan was down, but he overcooked the bend on the kick.
Yeah, he could have actually just straightened up and kicked a drop punt. I know everybody would appear to be instinctively, they just reflexly go around the corner, but he wasn't under pressure.
Doherty to Nunes. Dangerfield got a little bit of arm on the way through.
Again, late decision, and that was because of the reaction of Jack Nunes, who held his head after the challenge. Just let the umpire know he got a little clip.
Hitting at the riser. Ratugolea almost outmarked him, then knocked it away in the Ablett direction.
That should have been in danger.
Look at the numbers, the extra Blues numbers in at the ball.
Little fumble McGovern, and that allowed the Cats to keep it on the wing. Geelong was spanked round 1, which seems like an eternity ago, by 32 points by the Giants. Had their own massive win here last week, 61 against Hawthorn. Worst possible start to this. Ablett, the Setterfield saddler, holds him up, and we'll get a ball up. Knocked down to Cunningham. Curnow. Nice delivery. Plowman off and running. Mackay is forward, used his body. O'Connor got back. and he bounces away. Cripps can't chase him down. Short kick to Narkle. Cats on the run here if they want to be. Straight down the spine. Duncan, Jones, Rowan floats front of the pack.
Well, he's had a good little 5 minutes here, Gary Rowan. Just hasn't put it on the scoreboard.
It was the wrong kick at the other end, wasn't it? Lockie Plowman going forward for the Blues, kicks to a 1-on-2. You get the turnover, and then there's numbers and space for the Cats. Now, they all converged on the same spot, but he was able to drift across the front of the pack and take a really good mark, and he is a particularly good set shot.
Yeah, this is his forte. 25-goal season last year, and never in doubt.
Well, it was a great rebound out of defence. I thought Bledsoe should have got a free kick. He didn't, but it was O'Connor who just took the ball and started to run with it.
So
and it was a brave effort, because here's what I thought was a free kick. I mean, that's just a push out. Shouldn't have been, but brave effort here and counter-attack. And didn't lose his head. He could see it needed to open up. He waited and waited, and he kept on running. Narkle presented, and finally they find a target. Good mark. But you need the conversion, and this time they got the conversion.
Been a good pick up for the Cats, Gary Rowan. Normally low in possessions, but high with his impact with those possessions from the restart. Ball sits on Pittenet's head. Got it down to Cripps though. Fantastic. Setterfield back to Pittenet. Spears the ball to half forward. A roller. Tui read it well. Gibbons wraps him up. Handball to Menegola. Shoots it back again. Buse around his body to the wing. Plowman protected Pittenet, but he couldn't mark it. Atkins nearly had it. Plowman backpedaled. Setterfield missed the outside of his boot. Tui. Selwood. To the lead of Radaglia. Jones was in front. Toted away. Guthrie waiting for it. Jones attacked him. Put the pressure on the handoff. Radaglia through traffic. Narkle, the left door's shut on him. Ball up.
Thought he was good, Liam Jones. Took the initiative. He just attacked it and then kept attacking it, leaving his man.
Speaking of good pickups, been an awesome pickup for the Blues. Stephen toes it off the carpet. Radaglia tried to turn Jones, couldn't quite get away from him. Walsh left it behind, tries to mop his own mess up. Cats have players on the run here. Myers, Rowan was a chance. Narkle gets it, gave it to Selwood, hit the belly of the ball and pulled it too far.
But they're going better, the Cats, at ground level in particular. Their ground ball gets, they're starting to even up those numbers. They're getting a couple of shots, even though they're butchering it a bit in front of the sticks.
Gee, that's a great kick coming out of defence from Doherty. That's a spear over 45 metres.
To Cunningham, wide, and getting back Williamson. Had a tough 2 games only last year. Didn't play at all in 2018. This is his 4th season on the list for Williamson. So he gets his chance for the first time this year to let his career grow again. Pick 61 back in 2016. Mackay stays down. Lets McGovern go for it. McGovern looks up. Pops
Great
the pass. Casbolt lace out with a bow on that.
Gee, that's a good kick. He looked quickly, McGovern. And it was Henry was the opponent for Casbolt. And Casbolt was pushing back on him, almost facing his own goals. And then came back on the lead and he just chipped it into space.
That's the one that Stanley has to hit the deck. It's just got to go to ground. And he didn't make the contest, and the coach will want to know why.
Hold their mark.
Been kicking well, and the Blues have all the answers so far.
Well, given the conditions, Jason, this has been an amazing effort for contested marking inside the forward line. There's been 2 or 3 players that are sharing the load, but here's a terrific mark from McGovern. And we know Casbolt's always been a great mark, but he's added good goal kicking and good field kicking to his game. So they've got Mackay as well, who can also present. But right now, McGovern is making a mark on this game, albeit with only a few possessions. 3 contested marks, 3 shots, or 3 kicks at 100%, and he's kicked a couple of goals himself.
The Tars with a huge task now with a confident Levi Casbolt. Huge 2 minutes 49 coming up to half-time now. Back to Pitternet and Stanley. Another good bounce. Stanley with the reach. Down to Dangerfield, superb. And he's off and running. Spears the pass. Radicalier couldn't get 2 hands to it. Ball rolled to the back. Rolled past 3 of them. And Plowman content to roll it all the way home.
Jack. Thank you. Well done, guys.
Doherty. Nunes.
On 9. Hold. Play on. One.
Wiedering.
Tom, hold.
They've been confident with their ball use, the Blues. Confident they'll hit the target they go for. And that's another beautiful 40-metre pass to Gibbons. To Williamson. Setterfield at half forward. He had 2 to beat though, and dropping in Stewart. And that's his forte.
Move it on. Play on. Yours.
Wiedering. He worked his way to the front of Hawkins there.
Getting a bit frustrated, Tom Hawkins. He's doing very, very well, Jacob Wiedering.
Nothing easy for Geelong at the moment. They've only taken 20 marks in a half of football. It's an all-time low. I just think you have to give credit to the way Carlton have defended.
Simpson down the line. Cripps, that battle with Selwood. Menegola with the crumb and the bomb to half forward. Hawkins wins this battle. Dances inside. Atkins.
Push out.
Oh, push out. So a little luck going against the Cats as well. Big free that, because a goal with a winner and change left would have been massive, and that's another good set of hands shown by Levi.
He was literally shocked, Tom Hawkins. Absolutely shocked at that decision went against him.
And Gibbons. They're going to have the last roll of the dice here, the Blues. He thumps it. Pitternet stands under it. Stanley with a big fist. Eddie Betts waited for the crumb, and he got it. Tried to mesmerise them. He got it to Cripps. And this is a huge kick for the Blues and for Cripps.
Mark, I've got it. Okay, take Paddy. Guys, leave him. Paddy.
50.
Paddy.
Yeah, it is 50.
Paddy.
It is.
Patrick. Been paid, get out. Been paid.
And I like this. Look, a couple of Carlton players came in and got in his face, but they didn't start to push and shove or do anything that might reverse the free kick.
Takes the pressure off Cripps, who kicked 1 goal 2 last week. Mr. Key shot in the last quarter, and he will put this through and give the Blues their biggest lead of the game in the shadows of half-time. Normally about a 5-step run-up and then a little couple of stutter steps. In he comes. And he drives it home. 29 points to margin with 30 seconds left to the half.
Well, started back on the defensive side of the wing, a one-on-one contest between Wiedering and Hawkins. Tommy Hawkins thought he'd taken the contested mark.
Yeah, he had 2 hands in the back, though.
You're allowed to touch the back. All he did was hold him there. He didn't actually push him out.
Well, the coach doesn't like it.
I think that's a clear mark, personally. And I think this is a clever kick. He sees him late, Eddie Betts. He's just about to throw it on the boot, then he sees him. And that's not much in that for a 50 either.
What's interesting, Jason, is the amount of scores that Carlton have got. 9 goals in a shortened half of football. It's a huge score. In this era,
Blues fans right now, Jared.
I mean, we've had sides winning with 5 goals. They've got 9 at half time.
Can they play it for 4 quarters?
They only managed 7 goals for the whole game last week against Melbourne. They've got 9 now.
14 scoring shots out of 24 inside 50s. I mean, they have dismantled Geelong's defence.
Pitternet got it to Martin, but his kick's a little wide. 20 seconds left to half-time. This has been amazing. Blues did come back in both games. They've had strong second halves. It's a worry for the Cats as well. Came from 50 down to get within 15 points of Richmond. Came from 42 last week against Melbourne to level it up. They're a big second half team so far this season. Couple of seconds left to half time. Siren about to sound on it. Carlton will be pretty damn happy with his half-time score. Cats at GMHBA Stadium on the ropes a little. And you can feel it here.
Yep.
Ready to go, thanks, Ed. Ready to go. Stay out of it. Save your money. Stay out, please.
Save your money.
Stay out of it. Thanks, Jack. Hurry. Hurry. Back. Let go now. Walk away. Walk away. Walk away. Thanks, Ed. Let him go.
Might be money well spent if you're the Blues.
Stay out. Go. Let him go, Jack. Mark.
They haven't taken a backward step this entire game, Carlton. The pressure was on them. They've got a coach who's coached only 13 games. 2 losses so far for this season for David Teague. But their former best and fairest winner at the helm has been able to mastermind an unbelievable start to this. A 9-goal opening half for Carlton. 9-5-59 to Geelong 4-6-30.
You've got to get Ablett up and running. No point having him getting frostbite in the forward 50 if the ball's not getting there with any purpose.
So the 3 wise men are in there. Ablett, Selwood, Dangerfield. Piternet's been great. Knocks it down, tried to get it to Cripps, couldn't. Selwood gets the clearance, straight down the spine. Hawkins has had a no-kick first half. Petrevski-Seaton caught, got it to Williamson, broke free. Somehow to Wiedering, who's been superb on Hawkins, and the ball out of play.
Well, they've really got nothing out of Ratugolea at this stage. Tommy Hawkins has released a couple of handballs, which have resulted in scores. But that forward line has not been dangerous compared to the big guys at the other end of the ground who have had a significant impact.
So Guthrie on the bike, and Dalhouse is done for the night with concussion, so he won't be back on. Cripps wide, but marked by Blitzarves.
He read that really well, Blitzarves. He took off before he got there, but here's an opportunity.
And they are out. Eddie Betts is off and running. Silvani sees him. Eddie's got to be good here with the kick to Murphy.
Oh.
How good is that? That is as good as it gets.
That's one of the best kicks you will ever see on the left foot. That was brilliant.
But they just opened up the defence. The ball was up the ground, and on the rebound, on the charge, they found the open space, and it was on the back of an exceptional kick, as you both said.
271 games now, Mark Murphy. Experienced senior campaigner. And squeezes it in. And the Cats at home in a 35-point hole.
Well, they did the right thing, the senior players. They got the ball out of the centre. They got it long into deep into their forward line. And then the Blues responded, got it back, and then there's a turnover. And on turnovers, they have been slaughtered tonight. Unfashionable turnovers. You can't defend them, particularly when you get space like that and pinpoint passes.
He's got to understand the quality of this kick. That's his opposite foot. There are 3 Geelong players, one to the right of the screen, who just couldn't get there. Murphy was sort of in the middle of them. He had to weigh that kick perfectly.
Yep.
No wonder they're excited. That is the perfect start again.
Blues kicked the first goal of this game in the opening minute. And they were on from the opening second. So back in the middle, still. Dangerfield, Ablett and Selwood in there. Cripps, Pitternet, Curnow and Martin for the Blues. Ball knocked down to Woods. That battle between Curnow and Selwood. Secondary ball upcoming. So Menegola has been having that back worked on now since they ran out after the halftime break. Touch play on. Blitzarves to Ablett. Try to get away. Caught though. Just slipped away from them last second. Was it to Pitnet's direction though? Out Mark Stanley. Chips the kick to Walsh.
Been really good, Pitnet again.
Yep. It's amazing, really. 5 seasons with Hawthorn for 7 games, and it's been amazing for Carlton since He's headed there over the off-season. Tui. Brian Myers. Walsh came at him. Forced the handball turnover. Centre field to Cripps. Tried to roll it through traffic. Couldn't. Tui likewise couldn't. And Doherty.
Just not coping with Carlton's pressure at the moment. Turnover handballs, turnover mongrel kicks.
Heads wide towards Casbolt, whose first half was outstanding. Heads to the pocket, and Henry should cut that off. He did with ease. Had two little guys, Eddie Betts and Cunningham there. We'll never go to outmark him in the air. Heads out wide towards Dangerfield. Big grab. Didn't mark it, and he hit the deck hard.
Yep.
Doherty in the meantime comes up with it. Danger still has hardly moved. Curnow pokes it inside 50 to Martin.
Well, their marks inside forward 50, Kingy, would be breaking a record, I reckon, for this season. They are just getting shot after shot at goal.
Yeah, they are, Jared. They're on fire. I'm just happy to see Patrick Dangerfield get up, to be honest. That looked really ugly for him.
Landed on the back of his neck, Kingy, didn't he? It looked nasty, but he is up. He's still gingerly rubbing the back of his neck, but he's up and about, which is a good sign.
Jack Martin in game 100. Gold Coast. He was a #1 priority pick access player for them, and he can't nail this one.
Isn't it amazing? He's one of the best field kicks you'll ever see, Jared. Get someone to think about the big white sticks, though. This is the big fly from Dangerfield. Almost took a spectacular mark, but look at the falling on his head, neck bending. Very happy to see him get up.
Duncan to Henry.
Gee, that was a bad miss by Jack Martin then.
He was.
That would have just about been the nail in the coffin.
Radigalia hasn't seen a lot of it. Gets it here, but he's caught. Had to go back to go forward. Buse, one way, not a lot to go to. Mongrels it to Rowan. Can't collect it on the run first time. Gets it on the second time. Puts the Jets on. Kick sits on Stanley's head a little. Pitnet caught him high. Free kick. Hawkins thought about playing onto advantage, but he had nothing forward.
Charge of the like brigade here from the Blues. They are getting right back in numbers.
Henry. Who does he want here? Stewart. Plays on. Heads goal square. It's high. They need a leaper. Rowan. Wiedering. Caught high. Free kick. Blues have done everything right in this game so far.
Letting him go. Now.
Doherty.
1 metre back, please.
Well, it's just been dysfunctional, their forward line, Jason, for most of the smash. The way they're bringing the ball in isn't penetrating the Blues' defence at all.
Casbolt can't mark this one. Brian Myers gets a kick, but you can hardly count it. Stephen hasn't had a great first game for the Cats either. And Martin takes the mark, just the required 15.
They're being outworked here. It's as simple as that. You talk about the Carlton mids pushing back quickly and the forwards resetting when they win back possession to really challenge the Geelong back six. They're just simply working harder.
Paul follows Eddie again. Gives it to the magnet Walsh. He blasts it. There was no one home. Blitzards, but he could have gone for the mark. He double-fisted it down to Guthrie. Just off the bench and fresh. Kick not good, though. Race on. Duncan gets there, little paddle. Kept it in front of him. Feeds it all the way back to Blitzards. To Ablett. O'Connor ran for him. He ignored it. He heads toward Myers and Dangerfield. They collide. Martin comes up with the goods.
Brilliant.
Simpson now. They've got one-on-ones ahead. Eddie Betts is a small against the big Blitzards. He pulls the kick to Cunningham instead.
Just playing smart footy when they need to, the Blues.
Hold grind. No closer.
Casbolt now feeding as the leading target. It's in his direction, and he's got it.
I mean, they are just spreading the
Played on.
To Eddie. Thought about it. Thinks about it. The dodge step. The drop step. The kick. Cripps. Wow.
Gary, just here, mate.
They are just slicing and dicing at the present time at will. And Chris Scott is looking for a spark, but there's none coming.
Wait for the play on call, wait, Tom. Then go on. Tom, hold, wait.
They've kicked the last 3 goals of this game, the Blues. Opens up the angle. Make that 4 in a row. 42 points, the margin.
Well, it's difficult to stop momentum at the best of times, but here's the Martin dispossession. He's just kept his eye on the ball. Ball ricocheted off, and they just chopped the ball from one side of the ground or into the middle, then back out to the other side. And Casboulder's just been a pillar of strength. Eddie's actually having fun. Eddie's now playing tricks. He's actually got a good game under his belt. The Blues are well on top in this game. They've just about got the 4 points, and Eddie's going to put on a show. So don't turn over. The Eddie show has arrived again in football.
He got lucky in the end, Jared. He was nearly too smart by half, and it ended up with Paddy Cripps.
Great pass to Paddy. All working for the Blues.
Well, there's a big game time left in this, but if Carlton win, they'll be equal on the ladder tonight with the Cats. Both teams will be 1 win, 2 losses from the restart. Ball not down to Narkle, who hasn't seen a lot of it either. Abler, Myers, just the required to Hawkins, who can load up from just outside 50 if he wants to.
It's a good little kick off the outside of his boot in the end, Brian Myers. Hasn't seen a lot of it, but managed to steer it in the direction of Tom Hawkins.
And Paddy Dangerfield getting some work on that neck that was put in a position
Understandable.
No one wanted it to be in.
So Tom Hawkins having his first kick at the 10-minute mark of the third quarter. He's launched it, and it's long, and it's... Well, radically, he might have punched that back into the field of play. That might have been a goal had he not touched it. And it rolls back out.
I need to see a replay of that, Dwayne.
He could have marked it. He could have left it.
This is extraordinary.
Levi, Reese.
Oh, my goodness.
Reese, Levi, hands off there.
That's extraordinary.
Expect the unexpected in 2020.
You know, look, I've seen people try to mark it and then mess it up that way, but not double-fisted from there.
Bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. Doherty thumps it back out. Early leap.
I think he's spending too much time in the ruck, Jason.
Yeah. I can't believe what I saw, Kingy.
At least try and mark it. All right, Martin's got it at half back, but that's the tale of the night for the Cats.
Here's another look at it. He's well inside. He could have taken a mark.
Could have marked it, or it would have gone through for a goal, and it wouldn't have been touched.
Doherty.
Yours.
That's not his best. I think that's one of his worst.
20-10. Eddie, just back with me.
Narkle.
With me, here. 3 minutes.
Still a quarter and 8 minutes left.
Mark, don't
The Cats need a hero from somewhere. Someone's got to change this momentum.
Play on now.
I mean, that's got the potential to get really ugly. This Dangerfield may not come back on. They've already lost Dalhouse. There's no spark whatsoever.
Danger's back on now, though, Jared. Just popped on as you were talking about him. Got the kick away in the pocket, and Rowan, the minimal possession, maximum impact player, and this is kickable by his crazy standards.
Well, it's hard to dominate any team for 4 quarters, but to dominate a good team is unlikely. They've got to raise an effort at some stage, the Cats.
The mark was difficult. The kick was tough, and he made it look easy.
Well, it's a good rebound, and it was a darn good shot at goal. And I always knew Patrick Dangerfield was quick, but that was a massive sprint off the table. Fantastic, and he got himself involved as well. Driving the ball forward, wasn't his best kick, but that's a darn good mark. That's a hell of a mark. In fact, he's actually been quite good. Just hasn't been able to kick as many goals as possible as the opportunities that have presented for him, but he's at least kicked a couple, running at 80% with his kicking. Just gives them just a ray of hope, something to get excited about. 6 goals down, not impossible, but they need to play a bit better than they are.
Hey, Tom. Remember?
They kicked 17 goals here against Hawthorn last week, the Cats. Kicked 19 against Carlton last time here, round 23 last year. They can pile them on quickly. Stanley, nice little palm down, but Selwood couldn't trap it. Setterfield was right with him. Dangerfield's pickup was superb. Scrambles it to Ablett. Can't mark this. Simpson was right with him. Murphy flicks the handball wide towards Silvani. kept it alive. No, he didn't. He was happy to take it out, really, with some help from Stewart.
Been a tough night for Jack Stephen, just easing his way back into the rigours of AFL. 5 possessions. But good to see him out there running around. He'll be a lot better off with a couple of games under his belt.
Casbolt doing the ruck work. Stanley against him. Dangerfield ripped it from their pockets. Cunningham couldn't get a kick away. Goes back into fight in the back heel. Selwood tough in the clinches again. Their gun players trying to generate some momentum here. Radicale couldn't trap it. Walsh got on the end of it. Gave to Gibbons. Betts, Buse, boundary. That'll do. He's enjoying his time at the moment, Eddie.
Oh, he's bouncing around. He's looking very lively and very dangerous.
Barking some instructions. All right. Stanley and Casbolt. Gibbons got there ahead of Duncan. Handball was wrong. Could have run that out. Dangerfield was on the end of it. Goes long. Ablett in the contest was magnificent. So too Rowan. He's been the spark. Pulls the kick short. Hawkins just needs to go back and finish the deal, surely. That's what they're paying the big bucks for. Kick goals like this. Another that missed the prelim last year. Ian Mitch Duncan. It was critical when he's on. Cats are so much better. And he's an accurate kick.
Go forward, Jacob.
And the Cats have got 2 in a row. And the comeback begins.
Had to expect it at some stage, Jerry, but they did kick 2 in a row early on in the second quarter, and Carlton were able to bounce back immediately.
So let's see if there's enough players to jump on board, because the spark has lit a tiny little fire.
Would have been better taking that ball over the boundary line.
Yeah, but they also had a 3-on-2,
yep.
and you know, Simpson wanted to go for the ball, but probably should have stayed to cover. Wiedering can't believe that. He had him well covered, but it was a darn good kick to cross it, to put it on Hawkins. And there's the ball that Plowman just allowed to get through him. He's actually been he's been pretty good, Rowan.
Yeah, he's had some important touches and finished well when he's had the chance. So if they can get 3 on the trot, the Cats, that would plant the seed of doubt in the minds of the Carlton players.
Biggest comeback this year has been 42 points. As Menegola goes through his run through. And that 42-point margin was Carlton's comeback against Melbourne, the level of the scores in a game they lost. Biggest margin of tonight's game for the Blues, 42 points. The Cats are on the comeback trail now. Pitternet caught, out to Murphy, got it to Martin. Heads out wide with the kick, McGovern. Henry right with him. Henry content to flick that to the line.
And this is where they've got to get a little bit more disciplined, the Cats. They've given away goals from these defensive stoppages, and they can't afford to give a one now.
Hey, I'm both holding.
Buse used his body well. Fantastic tackle up Pitternet. Ball fell though. Selwood to Duncan towards Radicale on the wing. Couldn't trap it. Williamson's been good, but that tackle is outstanding from Rowan. Wrapped him up like the grandma hug, and he was going nowhere.
Mark, Reese.
And the Cats can reset with 4:39 left. Try and keep this momentum rolling. Stanley climbs over Pitternet to knock it down. Selwood caught, going nowhere.
Yeah, they're watching. Come on. Yeah, let's go. Mark, Reese, same again.
Pitternet, little palm down. Cripps and Dangerfield side by side. Stanley to Myers. Flicks the kick wide. Play on the call. Duncan might want to play on anyway. He does to Tui, who won't launch it. He hasn't got a lot of longs. He goes short to the pocket. Radicale. Hand on it. Just knocked it down. Ablett, Simpson, Radicale. This is his moment. Hasn't had a big night yet. Goes inside, and a great grab by Nunes. In defence, holding up in the hole to Doherty.
He did the right thing, Radicale. He tried to centre the ball. It just wasn't to the advantage of his teammates.
Just got to keep assisting. Hasn't worked for him at the moment. He's having a bit of a down night. But they need a couple just to find something in this final 40 minutes.
Blitzars with Mackay, but his second grab was over the line. It won't be paid. Interesting to see what happens to these two teams next week. Carlton's due to play Essendon, Geelong's due to play Melbourne, but that Essendon-Melbourne game that was on tomorrow has been postponed. So who knows, this might be a little break coming up for these teams as well. Inside 50, Wiedering tripped.
Stand up, please.
I think three-quarter time will be interesting for Asala Radaglia. I think there'll be a chat at three-quarter time from a couple of the players and probably the coach.
Simpson.
Paddy Cripps is, well, he was involved early in some scores for the Blues, but just hasn't really had much of the footy in this term.
At the 9.
Doherty. Got Nunes out wide. Plenty of space.
Thanks, Patrick.
It's the next option that's the trouble there. Really loaded up down the line, the Cats. Plenty of tools.
Play on. You.
Pinedet and Casbolt gets through them both. Stewart was waiting at the back. Nothing by hand to go to. Floats it to Rowan, who's got the hot hand right now. Tried to land and take it and run. Couldn't. Walsh slips the tackle by Selwood, and that's tough to do. Ed Curnow, Patrick Cripps got the free man wide. McGovern needs to hit a target. Heads long. Eddie's out the back all alone. Eddie Betts looks up. He's got Gibbons. And he wraps it up and gives him the gift. Could have gone for home himself, Eddie. But Gibbons to kick one against the flow.
They did it well.
He nails the goal and settles everything down for Carlton fans.
Gee, they needed it, Jared. They needed it. They won the ball at half-back. Importantly, managed to keep the ball on the far side of the ground. I couldn't believe it when I looked up and saw two Carlton players
forward of the ball.
Forward of the last Geelong defender. It was just a matter of when they could get a clean possession to settle and kick long into the forward line.
Well, this was the important ball.
Yeah.
It's really well won by a couple of players, Curnow and Sam Walsh, and then this is good handball. This is what set up the goal. The long, wide handball into space, found Eddie, and then Eddie did the rest. Could have gone for goal himself, but smart play, just chipped it along.
Eddie's the #1 goal assist player in the history of the stat. So Eddie Betts, #1. He's given away more direct goals than any other player that's ever played the game. Puma Harvey led that stat for a while. Eddie's #1 on the list now. Gary Ablett Jr.'s #3 on that list. And he's just handed another one over on cue.
297 is the number for those that might be wondering what is the all-time assist record. 297 for Eddie Betts.
And he's about 40 ahead of
Geelong.
Joel Selwood, who's fourth on that list as well. Narkle.
And as you saw, it looks like Radaglia is in a bit of strife.
Straight down the spine. Selwood forward. Ball goes to the back. Numbers in the Blues' favour. Wiedering kick smothered though. Back into the congestion. Guthrie jumped on, but not in the back. Good tackle from Ed. He's enjoying being back home. He's come back down the highway. He knows this ground well, the ex-Geelong Falcon, and there's 11 ex-Geelong Falcons out there in this game. Doherty, straight back to Harry Taylor though. Duncan from the pocket, centering kick, they need a leaper. Stanley's the man, pitting it in front of him.
The more he plays, the better he looks. Mark Pitnet.
Please, Sam. Gary, let's go.
1.5 minutes left to three-quarter time. Dangerfield turns around.
In the back.
Free kick.
Taylor, Geelong.
Harry Taylor.
Taylor. There he is.
Radaglia
Time.
with the trainers. Kick to Stewart.
Hold. Wait there, Michael.
Every Carlton player on the ground ahead of him.
Bad couple of minutes for Levi Casbolt. He got caught napping once, let his man lead into the ball, then he gave away a free kick there. He's the outlet contest. He can't afford to be crowding turnovers.
Yours.
Duncan slams it on the boot, goes long. O'Connor waited at the back, it didn't quite get to him. Selwood tried to weave his way through the traffic. Guthrie can't. And the Blues get it down to 44 seconds. 36 points the margin. Stanley tried to rise. Dangerfield on the run, magnificent. To Tui, can he strike it? He does, he bends it. Couldn't quite get it all the way. off Hawkins' hands. Goal line and they rush it.
Took them 4 cracks to rush it through. There is a lot of pressure. They don't want to concede a late goal. But if the Cats can get one before 3/4 time, they'll think they can run over the top of them.
30 seconds left. Doherty heads out wide. Williamson, I thought he marked that. Off hands.
Go in.
Oh, it might be an out in the full here.
What do you reckon? Yeah, Rod. Keep Rod. Let's go. Rod. Reece. Yeah, mate. Mark. Just keep.
If there's any doubt, they'll always throw it in.
Back line.
Good call.
It bounced over. It's a great decision.
Blues essentially have every player behind this ball. Pinning it down to Cripps. Hands it to Silvani. He's not got a lot to go to, so he blasts for space. Henry got there. Casbolt, great contest. Back with the flight, knocked it to the boundary, and with 10 seconds left, Carlton looked like going into 3/4 time with a 35-point break, and look at that emotion for Casbolt's effort.
Well, that's the effort that they needed from him. He didn't provide that a short time ago, but that was brilliant, and a few of his teammates straight over to say well done.
Guthrie out of mid-air. Big fist Petreski Seaton, back to Guthrie, back to Ablett. Time's about to beat him. Siren sounds. Amazing. Even when you think you know in AFL footy, you don't know. The slow starting Blues, the winless Blues, have come down the highway to the Cattery, and they lead at the last change by 35 points, 12-6-78. The 6-7-43. And again, Radaglia, his opponent now. Guthrie side by side with Cripps in the middle. Dangerfield in there with Curnow tagging him. Selwood in there with Martin side by side with him. Both got a piece of it. Radaglia tried to follow it up. Selwood had a chance to pick it and run, but it slipped past him. Cripps fighting hard. Every second that ticks down is a win now for Carlton. Scoops it out, got it to Curnow. Touch play on. Banks it in the Casbolt direction. Harry Taylor got a fist on it. Blitzar's run down from behind. That's ball. Harry Mackay.
That's what you want to see from your big man. And look at Eddie Betts get over and says, mate, that's brilliant. Go back, take your shot, take your time. He didn't read it as quickly as Blitzarves did. Blitzarves saw what was going to happen, but didn't realise how quickly Mackay could close him down. That's a great tackle. Didn't get in his back either.
Can he nail it here? It was never likely, and it's going to be lucky to score. It hasn't.
Very strange run-up. He really went way left, ran outside that point post. The last few metres, he wasn't quite sure. Kicking from that pocket isn't easy as a general rule, but not much breeze around tonight.
Dangerfield heads out wide to Stephen.
They'll take risks. They'll take risks. The Cat. They'll look for corridor kicks and all sorts of things.
Stephen to O'Connor to Myers. Blues get their zone back. Every player on the ground for the Blues ahead of Myers. Dances his way around McGovern with the kicks for Mongrel.
Oh, it got there.
Yep, to Tui. Maybe it was perfect. To Dangerfield, who wobbles a torp long over their heads. Plowman read it well. So did Blitzarves. Scrambles it to the line. Blitzarves cuts it off. Hawkins outside of the boot. Harry Taylor. Well, in case of emergency break glass, they've sent Harry forward again, the Cats.
He's like his time again, Lockie Plowman.
Hell of a kick, though, from Tom Hawkins.
And they get one. It's a long road back. They're taking the first step.
Hell of a kick. He's just followed his man down, I think, Dwayne. Let's just see where he finishes. But they've all ended up in the one half of the ground. Reece Stanley looks as if he's in a bit of trouble. He's patrolling that forward line. He's trying to get himself back on, but who knows? This is where we think he got injured. A little bit of a corky from the head of Selwood.
Friendly fire again.
Let alone what's happened to Selwood.
This is a great kick, you're right, from Tom Hawkins off one step.
Gee. A really, really clever kick, this. I mean, even the idea was creative, but to be able to pull it off was magnificent.
They're essentially going to have to double their three-quarter time score to win this game, the Cats.
Plenty of time on the clock.
Radigalia still in the ruck. Pitternet. He's virtually ruck solo for the night. A couple of pinch hit rests, but that's it. Palms this down towards Cripps. Martin through the traffic. Tried to get it away to Curnow. Pitternet's caught. Brilliant tackle.
I mean, this just may well be because of the injury to their number one ruckman. They get Radigalia out of there. He's really been ineffective. And they go for the ground ball players. It might just work.
Williamson somehow to Martin. Somehow Guthrie tried to steal it. They've mauled it all the way to centre half forward, the Cats. Radigalia tried to climb over Pitternet, who palmed it beautifully down to Cripps. Touch play on Silvani, deft deflection, and the handball. Gibbons, Mackay, he got back on blitz halves. Casbolt's long in the square if he wants him quickly. He pulls the kick late, and he turns it over.
Gee, that's the one thing he couldn't afford to do.
Tui, Stewart, and he's got plenty of space to run.
And numbers.
Guthrie can go. He's going to turn and realise he's got the room. Narkle. Guthrie's called to get off.
Stay with him, Eddie.
Instead of running on, he's let Atkins come on. Narkle plays on and blasts it. Rowan had a good third term. He's up and he's got this. Takes off. Landed like a cat and lace out. Hits the pass target, Hawkins.
This is where Harry Mackay has to realise decisions have repercussions. He needed to go long, get the contest from Casbolt deep in the square. He tried to pick something out in traffic. You turn it over in a really dangerous position, the quick rebound, and all of a sudden they're shooting for goal at the other end.
Yeah, sometimes in attack, the best option is the conservative option.
Yep.
Go long to the square. Worst case scenario, you kill it on the deck, you have another crack.
You can still get organised behind the footy.
Kickable by Tom Hawkins standards from here. Struck it okay, but it's across the face. A let off for the Blues, but the Cats have a little bit of momentum right now.
Yep, and that would have got their tails up too. They need some composure in the last quarter here, the Blues.
What the Cats don't have is the crowd to roar them, to inspire them. Simpson long. Duncan floats in. Didn't hold it long enough according to the umpire. Caught. Harry Taylor kicked it into Selwood. Knocked away to Cripps. Blues off and running. Cunningham, when he's got targets left, right and centre. Mackay's the one he wants. Uses the body. Can't take the mark. Knocked it to his advantage. McGovern, Mackay, they were both there. Cats lock it up for a second. Mackay tried to pick it and go. Ball up.
He just played for a free kick there, Mitch McGovern. He's got to be better than that. Didn't even try and pick it up, just stood there and hoped that he'd get pushed over.
Setterfield. Well, he had a chance to get rid of it. Did get rid of it in the end. And now he's pulled it back into the pack.
Back that in. That's trouble.
Gone. It's a big mountain to climb for the Cats, but they might be playing their best footy of the night.
Well,
Duncan.
there's an aggressive kick.
Narkle's got to have to go. Does go. Great commitment. Guthrie the crumb. Hamill, though, smothered brilliantly by Williamson. Harry Taylor. Buse has to get rid of it. Just in time. Found his target, Myers. Open forward line for the Cats.
Look at Blitzarves working.
Hawkins wants it long. Blitzarves wants it long. Myers now realises it. Heads in that direction. Rowan got up there. Fronts in the marking contest. Gibbons. Cats will send it back, though. Radigalia is waiting. Wow. Stewart, wow. Caught by Nunes. Radigalia.
Gee, Nunes was good there.
Duncan can mop up that little mess if he can hit a target, and lace out to Henry. Ablett.
They look tired, the Blues. They've got everyone behind the footy, but still loose Geelong players.
Stanley back on.
The chaos ball. Jack Stephen needs to get a moment going here. Casbot off the carpet, rolls it out towards O'Connor, and Buse on the run against the flow, slams it on the boot and kicks a ripper. That was rat-like. from rack mark 2.
Just great attack on the ball, and I think it's pretty clear that Chris Scott has said to his defenders, if you get up, just go. Let's take a risk, just get inside. We've seen Harry kick a goal.
Yep.
We've seen Buse kick a goal. They're playing both deep in defence. Don't sit back and wonder and think maybe I should have just go for it and let's have a crack. And it's opened up for them.
You can see it as soon as they win the ball in the defensive 50, everyone just runs. Yep. They all take off. They will take risks going down the middle. They'll kick to, attacking positions on the ground. And it's starting to pay off. It's all of a sudden it's made the Blues a little panicky because they don't quite know how to set up for this kamikaze sort of attack from one end to the other from the Cats.
Spot on, Jason. You can hear them at ground level here yelling corridor, bring it back into the middle, corridor. So they're going to take those risks. They're prepared to gamble late in this game.
Need some calm heads, the Blues. A bit of possession. Senior players to lead, hit a few targets, slow it down.
Stanley back on. Cripps caught, one arm. Duncan, Guthrie, Stanley. Ball knocked away by Walsh. That was brilliant. Handball not so good. Buse has been superb. Great sidestep. Puts it on the boot long. Stephen went for the chest mark, didn't put his hands out. Doherty, Plowman, Wiedering. And a kick with poise. Murphy.
It's a great call, Dwayne. Hands had to go out. Buse was superb again, set it up. And a really good defensive punch.
Murphy takes off down the line. Early leapers go up. Ball thumped away. Ball in. Or Carlton free here, I think.
Out of zone, free kick. Taking McGovern.
Late call. McGovern's ball.
It's got nothing. They've got to kick deep into the pocket.
Silvani goes up and he does grab it. Sauce-like.
That's a beauty. All the attention was on Casbolt. He got worked out of it. And Jack Silvani saw the opportunity to attack the footy, and that's what he did. Now, this is a critical kick for the Blues. A real settler that they desperately need.
Well, he's actually involved in their last attack forward. It was a really good attack on the ball, set up a fantastic handball. It turned down, or it broke down, but this is ball in his hands.
Back into the lineup this week. He could just about kill him off for the night, and he can't.
Come back, Mark.
Hit the inside of the post. Looked like it might have just grazed the post.
Watch them go again here. They're all in the corridor.
60-metre bomb down the middle, Jason.
Yep, they're all set up for it.
McGovern got up. In fact, it was Casbolt who leapt in the end. The rest stayed down. Guthrie to Taylor. Floats one forward. Simpson gets back in the hole.
Thanks, Jack. Hold there.
Down to 8.5 minutes now. Simpson out wide to Mackay.
Had to close him down a bit earlier. Tom Stewart just a bit late getting on the run.
Cripps is coming off for a rest for the Blues now, so a little opportunity for the Cats, perhaps. Stanley got there late, but he crunched it down towards Tui, who's off and running. Time is of the essence. Heads toward Rowan, and a brilliant grab. Body on body by Jones.
I tell you what, they've got a lot more run in their legs at the moment, the Cats.
But time's ticking down on them. Back down the line. Silvani with the fist. Straight through Tui. It opens up for Murphy. Tui can't trap him. Murphy a little bounce. On his left, bends it back. Eddie Betts on the run. Couldn't quite collect it and go, Eddie. Buse, superb. Got a little handball out towards Atkins. Mackay kept him by Blitzard. Knocked it towards Tui. Dangerfield the shepherd. Tui the handball. Ablett to Danger. Tried to shrug it high. Umpire said play on. Wiedering a chance, but he spent it before he'd earned it. Silvani bangs it back. Henry got there with the fist. Knocked it to O'Connor. Hands toward Stanley. Tui. He's got Duncan. If he can get there, he does get there. One-on-one. Hands to Myers. Jack Stevens his target. He rolls it. Stephen. Doherty. Stephen. Stephen went down. Wiedering over the top of him. Ball knocked down towards Doherty. Big moment this. He hits Duncan though with the kick.
Oh, Michael, wait there.
So you got Dangerfield in the corridor. They've stopped to a walk, the Blues. They are really, really tired.
To the lead and the tomahawk.
Well, they opened up the space really well. David Teague knows that they had to get some personnel down there to block that corridor. but they waited, and the patience was rewarded. You can just see it here opening up. There's the channel, and he's gone straight into it. And the spare man, no point looking at the umpire and looking around. You just got to be in that hole.
Yeah, it was the only option they could kick to. Someone had to fill up the lane.
That's what he has ahead of him. The best sharpshooter in this team drills it. Hold the presses. Don't go writing tomorrow's headline just yet.
Right, Paddy Cripps back on the ground, straight in the middle, trying to get things organised. So
Wasn't his best kick, was it?
But if you look at the screen, there's Carlton numbers everywhere.
Yeah.
But they're tired, they're not working to get to the right spots, they're dragging their feet, they're not actually picking up men.
Hat kicks around the corner in defence.
I mean, look at all the Blues numbers there, but three of them are taking, 3 or 4 of them are taking themselves out of play by being too close to the footy anyway, and you leave that big hole there for Hawkins to lead into. It's hard to think clearly when you're very tired and struggling to get to the finish line, the Blues.
The big guns have come to play. They're down a couple of men, the Cats. Dalhouse was gone early with concussion. Menegola's out with a back injury. But a few are starting to rise. 3 goals in 6 minutes, the equation. Been done plenty of times before from the restart. Blues need a big settler now. They've done all the hard work. Need to finish the job. Radicalier slams it on the boot. Narkle under it. Doherty goes to ground. Narkle keeps his feet. Tries to fend off to Myers. Known goal kicker. Keeps it low. Big time goal. Maybe the biggest of his career.
Well, it's an unusual style, we know, but it's a very effective style. He's been an amazing pickup. Brilliant last week. A late pick in the 60s for memory as a draft pick, despite dominating the TAC Cup Grand Final. Cats gave him an opportunity, and he has delivered in spades, Jason. He's been a fantastic pickup. It was a good layoff from Narkle as well.
He's been a brilliant pickup. Love the way he just attacks the game, takes it on. He's got his own style, but it works. He knows what he's capable of. And they are running all over the top of him. The Cats too short, and they've got all the legs.
Just a couple of half chances blown there by defenders. Doherty again. It was a half opportunity. He was beaten in a one-on-one. A tackle miss from Plowman. Handball was laid off. They've just got to get some composure back. Plenty of time. Plenty of space between them and the Cats.
Biggest comeback of the year so far. The Blues from 42 down to level it up against Melbourne. The Cats have come from 42 down in this. And there's a couple of seconds we won't get back. And 5:41 left. 68 plays 79.
What Carlton have really struggled to do is on the rare occasions they do go forward, they haven't been able to retain possession in their forward half. It just comes out so quickly.
Radicalier to Dangerfield. Back towards Radicalier. Tried to keep it rolling. Martin spins out it for Jam. Barrels it towards half forward. Gibbons down there, tied up with Tui. Casbolt slips, but it's out of play.
They've got to start guarding corridor now, the Blues.
Yep.
They're still stuck in the previous method of the first 3 quarters, and that's allowing space and numbers. And you can see the Cats, their desire to take risks, to come through the middle. Got to switch on defensively here, the Blues.
They've got a loose back now. Doherty sitting deep.
Nowhere to hide right now for the Blues. Duncan.
Having a big last quarter, Duncan.
Toward half forward. Rowan got up. Couldn't bring the mark down. Hawkins, the ground level player, but he slapped it straight to Williamson. He handballs it over the top of Gibbons, though. Myers has put on a good couple of minutes. Hands toward O'Connor. Got it to Ablett. Worst person to give it to. Picks it now. Narkle on the run. Caught. Got a handball just in time. Plowman.
Gone.
One way. Gone. Rowan dumped in. Ball. Oh, the play on advantage doesn't work. Touch to behind.
He raced.
Did he know it was going to be a free when he took the ball and kicked it? Huge bullet dodge by the Blues there.
Push in the back. Geelong.
Geelong free.
Against Casbolt.
On the angle.
10-point margin right now. Cats need 2 goals. Long launch. Stanley sets. Henry the other way. They collide. Ball falls to Selwood. Top of the square, a little roller. Wiedering gets back. Hawkins corralled him. Harry Taylor stalking this one. He goes up, but he spills it. Radagalier can't collect it first time. Does second. Guthrie. Duncan. Over the head of Hawkins, out of play.
Well, they've created 2 opportunities here, the Cats, and they've self-destructed 2 of them.
Oh, gee, it was a good save from Doherty. But they're out on their feet, the Blues. They're outnumbered everywhere at the moment.
I know they're under the pump, but they're 2 men up and they are short quarters.
And yet they're getting outrun, Jerry.
Hawkins to Duncan, gets the kick away, goal! Cats are a goal from the lead after being 42 points down.
And Mitch Duncan is turning on a clinic. He has been absolutely superb.
They're claiming touch here, the Carlton back 6. Let's wait and see.
Goals given, they'll do it in the background, okay?
Score review, hold play.
Okay, understood.
Oh, it touched the finger. A goal has been given, but on that evidence, it might be overturned.
Let's set up for it. It's all right, I'm just waiting on it. It's all right. Just wait there. We're told. Wait there. Hey, the score reviewer. They would have checked it.
Here, Tim. Here, Tim.
Yeah.
Just go down to the goal square and make sure they don't get a call out.
You've got to overturn it on that, surely.
Sorry, I was talking to... Yeah, it does.
Don't grab a ball, okay?
They're reviewing it. We haven't got an answer.
Just wait.
We'll wait. They're reviewing it. We'll be told.
Huge call, this. Blues fans on the edge of their lounge room at home. Edge of their seat, waiting.
Is that
and waiting.
Jared?
By the Carlton defender's left hand, the ball down through.
Overruled.
Goal review.
Here we go.
On the scoreboard now.
Will be.
Yeah, behind.
Oh, behind.
What do you think, Jason?
Thanks, Darren.
I think it looked like the fingers moved. But they are coming hard, and they cannot find any space or time, the Blues.
Still 4 minutes left. Doherty.
Stay behind, Lockie. Stay behind.
Single-handedly saved a goal moments ago. He pumps it out. Casbolt got up. Big grab.
Spectacular mark. But what they are doing is predictably just kicking long every time. There's no short passes chewing time off the clock.
And the rest then for the review might have done the Blues some good.
High, Geelong. Blitzard, Mark Blitzard.
Blitzard's free.
Mark Blitzard.
The key defenders for the Cats are actually the ones generating all the activity. And Mitch Duncan.
Hawkins couldn't get a run at it like he would have liked. Ball thump clear. Selwood to Dangerfield, off and running. Little shrug. Hits a good spot with the kick. Rowan's down there. Jones against the flight. Couldn't complete the mark though. Rowan trying to get it. Can't. Ball up.
This way. Mark. Tom.
Big pack around it. Pitternet. Hawkins to do the ruck work. They tie up. Pitternet slaps it down. Free kick, Geelong.
Gary Ablett, Petreski's seat and grabbed him straight into the contest. Young player up against one of the greats. He was nervous. He was toey.
Come back on. Gary, back to your line.
The little master.
Yeah, you can see the jumper stretch. You're going to get pinged every time. That's just a gift. He doesn't miss these guys.
To make it a one-kick game. He's missed it. Can you believe it? One of the greatest of all time has missed it from there. The two-time Brownlow medalist blows his lines. Casbolt scrambles it away. Big fist from Stewart.
Play on number 15.
Cripps couldn't get it through the traffic. Ball slapped out to Harry Taylor. 2.5 minutes left. Hughes to the pocket. Bouncing ball that Wiedering will be happy to see out of play. Wow.
I've never seen him miss one like that, Gary Ablett.
Mark. Geelong ruck. Thanks, Tom. Tom and Mark.
Believe the unbelievable in 2020. Hawkins took it out of the air. Kick half smothered. Myers tried to bounce off like a rubber ball, but Curnow was in the way.
Thanks, Sid. Thanks, Sid.
Well, that time Hawkins did do the big push, and he didn't get pinged.
Atkins tried to barrel it forward. Murphy went to ground.
Play on.
Eddie Betts' pick up on the run was magnificent. Selwood trying to keep it alive, but Eddie gets it out.
That was a clean pickup and one that they needed, the Blues. Another stoppage by a bit of time.
2 goals in 2 minutes, that's the equation. It's a heart stopper. Great to have your company on Saturday night footy, on Fox Footy. Back into play. Radaglia. Curnow. Walsh loops a handball in Casboll's direction. The knock on probably not the right option. Duncan. Selwood.
Yours.
Back inside 50. Narkles under it. Jones, good fist. Petreski-Seaton turns it over to Henry.
Right there. Play on.
1 minute 40 left. He needs a target. It's a long launch. Jones gets back. Got there with a fist. Knocks it down towards Rowan, the miracle maker. What can he do here? Over the head of Narkle. Stewart on the run. Spin it before it earned it. Narkle back. Myers pulls the kick. Atkins a little fumble. Still chance. He mops up his mess and puts out the fire he started with a huge goal. It's a one-kick game with 1:20 left.
Well, they've had about 5 chances, and even then they nearly butchered that one, but he got 2 cracks at it. And he finally got across the line to set up one of the, potentially one of the great comebacks. And potentially one of the great disappointments for the Blues. It's all on the line now with 50 seconds of play remaining. Just over 50 seconds, in fact 70.
They've got to dig deep somehow, the Blues. They've got to find something.
Well,
they just haven't been able to control the footy at all. No. I mean, it's double the possessions, double the inside 50s. It's 5 or 6 goals to none in the last term. It's just one-sided football. He's the only man. The only man sitting there on the bench, but they've only got 2 on the bench, and they are outrunning the Blues. It's an extraordinary effort.
Huge clearance here. 1 kick in it. Cats have come from 42 points down if you just joined us. Guthrie caught. Just got it away to Selwood. About to get run down. Caught high. Played on quickly. Got it to half forward. Ablett's under it. Can't crumb it. Got the handball from Duncan though. Little slip back to him. Breaks free. Got it towards Guthrie. Slung late. No free. Doherty caught. Narkle wrapped him up. 54 seconds left.
Who can get the clean getaway?
Well, Jared, they've got everyone behind the footy, but the problem is if you get a quick kick out of defence, it's coming straight back. There's no outlet kick available. So the best thing they can do is get the ball and just a little lateral kick to a target.
And Martin control, the game's over.
Blues have no one ahead of the ball. Pittonet knocks it down. Martin, he handballs it straight towards Geelong. Players like Eddie came quickly. Kick off the deck, but straight towards Harry Taylor. 39 seconds left. It spills to Henry. Can't waste time now.
Oh, that's
that might be the game.
That tackle, I think, will win the game.
Eddie Betts. Eddie Betts, temperature test him. He's been hot. He goes wide. Walsh. 20 seconds left. Just needs to show some poise, the kid. Heads out wide with it. A mark and it's over. Off hands. Henry slaps it down. Martin's got it. David just in time to use to the pocket. Eddie Betts. Eddie Betts. Can you believe it? Eddie's back. All hail Eddie. The first win of the season for David Teague. The first win of the season for the Blues. And Eddie Betts blasted across the face with a huge smile. It's been the happiest he's ever been with a miss. What a classic. Carlton in an epic. They were 42 up. They won by 2, 79. to 77.
Well, all the focus after last week was tackling in the first quarter. But it was a tackle in the final minute, Jason, that has sealed this victory. And let's have another look at it. It was just an amazing tackle because the momentum was all going one way, and Eddie has just found a step.
He was the one that kicked the ball forward, chased it, put pressure on, and then followed it up with another one.
So they created enough opportunities, the Cats, to get the victory, just weren't able to nail it. And the Blues stopped to a walk despite being a couple of players up on the bench. But in the finish, it was just that dying lunge from Eddie that sealed it.
Well, it was three of the best quarters they could put together, the Blues, to start the game.
And one of the worst.
And now they will just have this enormous sense of relief. We're so used to seeing that one poor quarter and then three decent quarters trying to fight back. This time, they were flawless for three quarters and then couldn't lift their feet in the last term.
Well, they were close against Melbourne, obviously. They had a really poor first quarter, then three good ones, lost by a point. This time they had three really good ones and a poor one, but they were on the right side of the ledger.